What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again. And listen, before we get into content that we're going to be talking about today, I do want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you out there who have been an encouragement, just welcoming me back and saying how great it is for me to be doing videos again. I do appreciate that. And it is nice, that people miss you when you're not around. So I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad that you're watching. Now let's go ahead and let's get into the content for today. First things first, not a whole lot of people are talking about this, but the XFL 2.0 alum Josh Johnson got to play in the NFC Championship game, albeit he was knocked out with a concussion. Didn't play too bad in the game, but it is pretty cool to see that, not only do we have a guy from the USFL in Turpin go ahead and make the all-star team for returning kicks, and then now we've got a guy who's playing quarterback in the NFL, and now granted he didn't start, but he got to play in the NFC Championship game. So I think that that's pretty cool, and just shows the success stories of both of these leagues going forward. And yes, my thoughts and prayers go out to him. Hopefully he has a quick recovery, and that he this concussion that he suffered hopefully isn't anything too serious, and that he can be back to doing normal activities soon. So on to the whole thing that's been going on the past day or so, and really, it's the whole free agency thing. And listen, I love this. I love it with these leagues. I think that this is awesome. This is exactly what we're looking for with spring leagues. And this is going to probably step on some toes of you out there, but I really don't care. At this point right now with spring football, you need to quit worrying about what are you an XFL guy or are you a USFL guy? What camp are you going to fall in? The whole tribalism of that right now, we can argue who's doing better, this or that, what's going to be a better league. But the thing is that we need to support both leagues right now. Neither one of them are on good enough standing, on good enough footing that they can just live with us taking one or the other. And two, it benefits everyone, and that's where I want to turn our attention to. It has nothing to do with the fighting, bickering back and forth, which league's going to be better, who's doing a better job, what do I like better, do I like this better, do I not like this better? It helps both the fans and the players, and this is why. Looking at the stuff that we have that's coming out today, with all of the transitions and the opportunities that are happening for these guys in these leagues, and today we're just going to focus on the quarterbacks because they're the ones that right now, unfortunately, are the ones that are standing out. First and foremost, we have Paxton Lynch, who's signed with the XFL. He's going to the Guardians. Good luck to him. And really, I like to see this because he was a guy, if you watched the USFL, he was on that Michigan Panthers team. He got his shot and he got hurt early. He was actually playing fairly well for them. And he just got hurt and never really kind of I don't really think he really truly got back healthy. And I think that he could have done some things with that team had he have been in a better position. Now, granted, that team, they were a hot mess to say the least. But I like him getting another opportunity. And that just comes with all of us investing in these leagues. Watching the games, paying attention to things, going through and doing videos, going through and commenting on, forums, on Twitter, on, posting things on Facebook, all on the social media stuff that we're doing and interacting with this really helps. Getting our butts in these seats at these games. It's all going to help and give these guys more opportunities. So if you want to look at it that way, that's a good thing. He's going to be joining Quentin Dormady and DeAndre Francois. And, right now it looks like that could quite possibly be his job. I think that he could definitely take that. Both of the other guys are kind of more unpolished products. I'll put my preview out later with the Guardians. I really haven't looked at their team, but of all of the guys, Lynch seems to be the guy that would be to take the reins. Now, granted, he would only come in with about 2 to 3 weeks worth of work, but I think that would be plenty enough time to get him up and running, especially with him being around football as long as he has. I think that he can come in and do that. Now on to the story that everybody's been talking about today, and that's that Bryan Scott, who is a standout for the Philadelphia Stars in the USFL, has been released by the Vipers, and they have mutually agreed to part ways. And he's weighing all of his options with that. And that's the thing here that you got to keep in mind. With us supporting both leagues as fans, that gives guys in the league options. Both leagues are viable if we're watching both leagues, if we're putting our butt in the seat for both leagues. Now that they're going to be outside of just having one single hub, we're actually going to have fans back in the stands, and they're going to be in these home markets to where people can actually go out and go to these games, and it actually be, for the city that they're there for. This is the opportunities for a guy like Bryan Scott. Years past would not have had an opportunity like this anymore. Listen, he probably ended up in a place where, frankly, he might not, excel in that system. I don't know about their system. If it's more of a traditional NFL style of offense, he's probably not going to succeed in that. Now, if he gives the opportunity to improvise, to make plays, I think that will translate well and bode well for him. And the reality of it is just sometimes, whether it be the NFL, whether it be these spring leagues, things just don't click and they don't fit. Guys just don't fit. It reminds me of watching Jordan Ta'amu. He fit really well within the Battlehawks system. That Bandit system, not so good. And I don't even know if that's a him, if that's a what. It just is what it is. Sometimes these things just don't work. Now, whether he's been, they've been trying to trade him all season and teams don't want him, I don't know. They might not. I have absolutely no clue. And it could be that they've got their guy. And the reality is that he's been going against a guy in Luis Perez that is a solid guy. He's a guy that's going to be a good facilitator for your team. He's going to lead the team well. And if you've got a lot of athletes around him and guys that can make plays, he can dish the ball to them, and he can do well. I mean, you saw him go in there before COVID shut down XFL and really help the Guardians. I mean, he just got done with that Generals team. They did really well, and they ran a 2-quarterback system. Usually they say if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one, and he and oh shoot. I can see his face right now. Guy from last chance U, but I mean, they were going back and forth. Yeah, let me know down in the comments section, because right now I'm drawing a blank on him right now. But DeAndre Jordan. But if you got a guy like him, and you're running a more traditional style, yeah, you might take him over a Bryan Scott, and especially if you're bringing in a Brett, Hundley, a guy who's been around the NFL for a long time. He's probably going to get the starting job now, to where it kind of makes sense to release him and let him go. And you know what? Good for him if he ends up back with the Stars. That system, he fits really well. He knows those coaches really well, and he can really succeed there. And that's the thing here. Guys succeeding, getting opportunities to play, and playing well, and getting opportunities not just to move up with football, but continue to play football. I'm a guy that I just don't want like for me, I always want to go and I want to get better. I don't want to put a ceiling on myself. And you've heard me say this time in and time out. Yes, right now the XFL and the USFL are kind of the minor leagues. That is what it is. But you don't always have to be that. Listen, we wouldn't have an NFC and an AFC if the AFL decided that they were just always going to be second fiddle to the NFL. No, they decided they were going to come out, they were going to put together a really good football product, and you know what they did? They not only competed with the NFL, they made the NFL join with them, and we have what we know as the NFL now today. And I'm not necessarily saying we could see that happen with the XFL and the USFL, but never sell yourself short. And we need these opportunities, and they need us as fans to tune in, to watch the games, to show up, put our butts in the seats, to buy merch, to talk about these teams on social media, to tell others about them, get other people excited about the game that we love, and that is the game of football, and getting more football and having football year round. I mean, I love it. And I hope that you do too. So, for me, sometimes I get put as like, some people are like, oh, well, you're all USFL or you're all, XFL, and why are you this way? I'm like, I'm just a guy that wants football. I'm here and I'm going to give you my opinions on what I think one's doing well and one's, what one's not, and where they're missing the mark and where they need to. I'm just giving you my opinions. And I'm saying that we need to have both, and having both is giving guys like Bryan Scott an opportunity to get back out on the field. And instead of having 8 opportunities, now he's got 16 with both the XFL and the USFL. So to round this all back up together, this is all good stuff, and this is stuff that happens all of the time. But we as fans need to just sit back, enjoy it, soak it all in, and have a good time with both the XFL and the USFL. As always, I want to know your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll continue the conversation on down there. All right, listen, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.